Hi everyone, it's Dave from Nirvana, and today we're going to be focusing on replacing the springs with a brand new spring kit that Nirvana has had manufactured, reverse engineered from the original Thorens TD160 springs. These springs are also able to be used on the 145 models, 145, 160 Mark II models, the 147, and the 160 Super as well. And the procedure will be very similar to what you're going to see today. For tools, this isn't everything we're going to use in part one here, but you'll need all these things by the end. So you need some masking tape. We need a small Phillips screwdriver and a small straight screwdriver, a twist tie or bread tie. This is a spark plug gauge measurer. They slide out like this. This is really helpful tool for when we adjust the suspension. This is a socket that is 8 mm. I believe I'm reading that right. And we've got the socket wrench, some steel wool or 3M pad or a small wire brush. You're going to need that. And then we've got the kit itself. And then back here I've got some warm soapy water that we're going to clean the rubber grommets in. So those are the tools you're going to need. As you can see, I've also got this raised up on 3 quart paint cans that are padded, and then I've got a padded surface on the table to both protect the table and protect the finish on the Thorens. So I'm going to be moving fast because I know that you can stop and rewind the film if you need to. So excuse me moving fairly quickly. The videos take a long time to upload and I don't want to be too long in this. So I'm going to put the stylus guard down on this head shell. I'm going to take a bread tie and tie that off. Platter mat comes off, 45 adapter, and then this large heavy platter comes off. I'm taking the belt off. On some models there will be a platter catch and you won't be able to lift this out. I have removed the platter catch on this one already. That's in a separate video elsewhere, so I'm removing this entirely. And then I'm taking a piece of masking tape and I'm going to crimp that around the bearing well so we don't have oil leakage during the procedure here. Okay, so that's the basic preparation you need to do to the top. The bottom is held on by the screws that hold the 4 feet. Let me see if I can get this in better video view here. I've removed a couple of the feet already just for the sake of the quickness of the video. But basically, you don't have to balance these on the cans the way I am. You can put it down on the flat surface of the table. But again, I'm used to doing this, so I'm just, for the sake of speed, getting to the more important part of the procedure here. So again, there were 4 feet. I'm removing 2, which is going to allow me access to the bottom. And that's our inside. Now when you place this back down onto the cans, you want to make sure that you're not going to injure the cartridge, the tone arm, or the motor. So just be careful in how you lower this onto the surface where you are. I think I'm going to go in this fashion here. Again, I'm being very careful where this motor is and where that's setting. I'm having the surface flat here so I'm not sitting it on any levers. And I'm just testing and it's a nice firm state here. Okay, I'm going to move in a little bit closer to the top here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, the 3 springs are here, here, and here. And again, they're held in with this 8mm wrench that's on top. And Thorens, back in their day, just used a kind of blue or red paint. Possibly it was a nail polish kind of thing in order to get these to stay in. So we're going to quickly remove these 3 nuts, which will release the springs. You're not going to be reusing these nuts, so obviously you don't really want to drop one around, but if you do, it's not the end of the world. Okay, almost there. There's 1 nut, and then you can just lift the whole spring out. This is an original spring. We are going to be reusing the foam on there and pulling that out. Looks like somebody added an extra piece of foam in there at some point. That shouldn't be there, but that's there. And then we've got the lower grommet, which we're going to clean in the warm soapy liquid, so I'm just going to drop that in there. And then number 2, again, somebody's definitely been in here and added some foam there for some reason. Second spring's off, going to remove this grommet, toss that in there, and then last, and the last grommet's off, tossing that into the warm water. Now, as you have, just one final thing before we end this first part, these should all be tight and not moving. And if they are moving, there's a nut right here that needs to be tightened. And a small adjustable will do the work. The socket won't reach down that far. So a small adjustable just to tighten these, but you must start with these 3 studs in a tightened position. So that's part 1, removing the springs and prepping the turntable in order to get this job done. Hopefully this was easy and not too stressful for you to follow.